The Mudman wanted to scrape off all the mud on his body because the mud had dirtied the pristine white floor beneath his feet. But the mud quickly healed, and he only made the floor dirtier. With a cleanliness obsession, he wanted to wipe the dirt off the floor. But the more he wiped, the more dirt there was. The Mudman looked at his dirty mud hands and thought how nice it would be if he had a pair of gloves, a bucket of water, and a rag. Just then, a box suddenly popped out of the wall. The Mudman tiptoed cautiously over. Inside, there was indeed a pair of gloves, a bucket of water, and a rag. The Mudman took out the gloves and put them on his hands. Now he could finally clean the room properly. He wiped the floor while backing up, cleaning the footprints he had just made, one after another. But he was still standing on the white floor. To ensure the room's absolute cleanliness, the Mudman put his feet on the rag. Now the floor was finally completely clean, but he had restricted himself to that small piece of rag, losing his freedom. The Mudman looked at his feet and thought how nice it would be if he had a pair of shoes. Unexpectedly, the next second, another box popped out of the wall. The Mudman wanted to go over and see what was inside. In order not to dirty the floor, he moved forward little by little, stepping on the rag. As a result, he lost his balance and fell to the floor, making it even dirtier. Looking at the dirty floor, the Mudman was very frustrated, so he strode forward. Unexpectedly, the shoes he wanted were right in the cabinet. The Mudman took out the shoes and put them on his feet. Another box suddenly popped out of the wall. This time it brought a set of clothes. The Mudman put them on without hesitation, but when putting on the pants, he put both legs into one pant leg. The Mudman lost his balance again, fell to the floor, knocked over the bucket of water beside him, and made a mess. The Mudman couldn't understand why the harder he tried, the worse the situation became. He sat on the ground in frustration, becoming more and more sad as he thought about it. The Mudman angrily took off his clothes and threw them away. He hated himself, covered in mud all over. He desperately wanted to scrape the mud off his body, but the wounds healed automatically. The Mudman completely broke down. He grabbed a handful of mud and threw it out hard. As a result, it actually broke through the wall beside him. The Mudman walked over curiously, but saw a completely different world. Although they were also mud people, they lived happily and freely. Not only did they not despise the mud on their bodies, but they could also use the mud to paint.